So, halo balik lagi semua di acara podcastnya di channel Tukang Tato. Kita kedatangan tamu spesial yaitu ada Nachil di sudut sana. Dan ada Sean from Ireland. Hi Sean.
Hello, how are you?
Did I pronounce your name is right?
Amazing.
Amazing. Perfect.
You're natural.
And ada Mas Dede juga. Jadi kita kali ini berbicara yang agak panas. Kebetulan lagi agak panas juga. Kita habis minum whisky. Bukan sponsor tapi ini enak buat diminum. So topik kali ini adalah apprenticeship. So apprenticeship. So untuk sebelumnya yang belum tahu Nachil, kalian parah banget. Ini IG-nya aku tulis di sini.
Asli gak parah.
Iya, parah kalian nih.
Kurang sosmed berarti.
Iya, kurang kalian nih pada kurs ya.
Kurs.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about apprenticeship in worldwide first, I guess. So like international apprenticeship in tattooing. So I'm gonna throw up some question on you, like
Sure. Bring it on.
I don't have any question list and just make up something, you know.
Go with it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in here in Indonesia we have little bit kind of lack of apprenticeship from a few people that really want to learn about tattooing process,
Okay.
but they want to skip it.
Yeah.
What you can say about it?
I think that just comes with the whole new world of tattooing. You know, things have changed. Years ago, I don't know how long you guys are tattooing, but there was a lot more respect associated with the learning process. You know, you had to do X amount of years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you know. You had to earn your stripes. You couldn't just, teach yourself and after a few months open your own studio. So I think as time goes on, these rules and the respect and the culture is lost because, but that's just coming from me having tattooed and being around tattooing for 15 years plus.
Wow.
Same maybe as Nadia. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Can you talk closer to the mic, bro?
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
How you start your apprenticeship?
I've done a few different roles in different tattoo shops, and eventually I had to teach myself.
Okay.
Because sometimes we have to have a bad experience before we find the right place. So yeah, I found a way eventually, and here I am. So, how about you?
Tell me about the bad experience that you got.
Yeah. Our whole career you're tattooing like
Back in like, let's say you've been tattooing like 15 years.
Well, around
Let's go back 13 years ago.
Shit.
So you just
Don't go back there, man.
just go back like 13 years ago. Can you tell a story about that?
You clean up the
Yeah,
toilet with.
I had a real traditional.
Learning process?
Yeah, so like we used to have to clean the toilet with a toothbrush.
okay, same like me. Same like me. Same like me.
That's bro.
Yeah, because it was a tattoo apprenticeship back in the day was nearly like bullying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
had
feel that.
You had to suffer a little bit, If you don't suffer, you don't grow. So it was a different thing because now there's so much exposure. Tattoo, like I was talking to you,
Yeah.
with Pinterest and all this stuff, it's so easy to get into tattooing now. It's everywhere. It's saturated.
Pinterest artist.
Yeah, maybe that the different the artists right now and maybe 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, back then 10 years ago, internet
Yeah.
was so hard to get, right? And not as fast as today.
Yeah, it's just a different world. I don't mean to criticize. Times will change and the game changes in every artistic form. But yeah, for me, it's so different now.
Okay. So which mean like I can tell in conclusion what you said back in your day. I mean back in your time.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that era that you have to struggle with that cleaning shit with the toothbrushes and the
exactly.
small shit like that. Back,
To see if you really want it.
yeah, it means like to show you are really want to get that
Yeah.
information,
It's like a filter
learning. Yeah,
If you don't want it, those people that don't want it enough, they find the door.
the filter system. Yeah,
But now it's so saturated that it's easy to become a tattooer.
yeah.
You don't have to go through those hoops. You don't have to jump through the hoops of fire.
Yeah, it's kind of I hate that actually.
Yeah, me too.
Because back in 2000 in 2000, we need to dig in from like underground, right?
Yeah.
What the meaning of the underground in here? Like you touching.
Maksudnya kayak dari dulu kan tato masih underground banget gitu.
Oh artinya.
Iya.
Jadi maksudnya-
Yeah. Yeah, understand. Yeah.
Like punk rock.
Like
Ya,
punk rock.
Tattooing used to be pretty punk rock.
Yeah, pretty
You
punk.
know, there was a rebellious side. It was rebellion. But now, of course, it's I think a lot of people that go to art college, thank you. I'm melting.
I know.
In
Welcome
Ireland,
to
it's
Bali.
like 0
By the way.
degrees. I think nowadays, if you're just an artist, if you study graphic design or fine art or whatever, tattooing is an option when you graduate because, it's mainstream now. So you can make a good living just tattooing. You don't have to be in love with tattooing.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the difference,
Yeah.
Back in the day, you had to, it was rebellious to choose tattooing.
Yeah.
Maybe your parents didn't agree.
That's
Because,
true.
you're living on the fringes of society. You're a social outcast. Whereas now, it's whatever. It's like being a hairdresser.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, sad to be true.
it's very sad, I think.
Really sad to be true for me.
And for me, like when I was start to learning tattoo, I must be go to my home because my parents angry to me like,
Yeah, for sure.
what are you doing
Yeah.
with your?
What are you doing? No. Yeah. And what about your parents now? Do they agree because they see you can make a living?
Yeah. Right now, it's everything's okay
That's good. Yeah.
because my parents right now are doing job not crime, not something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, sorry to keep bringing it back to a long time ago, but it nearly was, bridging on criminality. It was
Yes,
like
yeah.
biker shops. And, it was grimy.
Gangster.
Yeah, now it's polished. It's fine, tattooing, whatever.
Iya.
How about the kakak Nacil?
Yeah.
Kita mau bahasa Indonesia aja ya.
Boleh.
Sama sih kayak dia. Cuma kalau di Indonesia kan waktu mau belajar nato kan kayak kita startnya belajar sendiri kan.
Mostly ya.
Waktu gue belajar dulu sih sebenarnya sama sih kayak nge-search di internet dulu segala macam. Dulu kan udah ada internet pas
Telkomnet instan.
2005-an mah udah ada internet sih.
Yang harus dial dulu nggak tuh?
Iya, yang Telkomnet instan
Iya.
yang colokan kecil.
Ya awalnya sebenarnya scratcher juga sih. Scratcher juga.
Pasti awalnya kita semua scratchers yang di Indonesia.
Itu sebagian dari proses ya.
Iya.
Cuma scratcher zaman dulu tuh kayaknya nggak sama kayaknya.
Iya, parah ya. Ngaco sih yang kemarin.
Scratchers back then it's not the same like
Scratches now are temporary.
Mungkin gini ya, perbedaannya kali di era mungkin Kak Nadia dan saya ini memulai tato nggak semudah sekarang mungkin dengan equipment yang mudah dibeli, jarum yang mudah didapatkan, tinta yang mudah didapatkan. Mungkin di era 10 atau 11 tahun yang lalu di Indonesia untuk mencari tinta yang ori aja itu nggak semuanya bisa gitu dan masih
Gak supplier punya juga yang ori ya.
It's really hard to get the equipment here.
In Bali or all over?
Indonesia.
And Indonesia.
In Indonesia.
Why is that specifically?
Like in 2005, 2000 and until 2005. It's really hard to get equipment here.
Okay.
Because no one import it
Yeah.
from the States, like the Intense, like the Kurosumi.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what brands like
Skin Candy.
Starbright.
Starbright,
Yeah, Starbright,
Starbright.
Intense. The old company. Like usually they only just import from Chinese.
Okay,
Then
yeah,
we got the
Yeah.
the fake one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Chinese version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had that.
Back in the day, it was so hard to find any equipment, though, right?
Yeah.
You know, information was so difficult to find, even the equipment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, same here in Ireland.
Oh, yeah?
Starbright was difficult. You had to order from America, and it didn't always get through the customs. You know. And Dermaglow, you used Dermaglow before?
What's that?
Dermaglow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used it.
The guy who made the ink is from Newcastle in the UK, and years ago you had to ring his house phone, and then maybe he answers and he's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" I'm like, "Oh, I want to buy some ink." He's like, "Oh, okay, let me think about it. I'll ring you back."
But I'm still have the red one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because like before I doing like traditional style like
Yeah, me too.
I love the color because very very vintage like maybe in the ink right now I don't feel like that like in the Derma.
Oh yeah,
Red color, yeah.
Yeah, red color.
Yeah, the red color is like almost similar to the orangish.
Yeah, I think now it's a little bit different because there's so many brands and so much choice. But back then it was like,
Only few choice.
yeah, Eternal might be good for red, and this brand is good for this one. But now you can pick any brand; it's going to be pretty solid. Times change, though. We can't live in the past.
Yes.
I want to, but I
Okay.
can't.
Yeah.
Bedanya kalau kita dulu belajar ya awal jadi scratcher ya dari teman-teman sendiri aja gitu.
Yeah.
Kayak misalnya ya udah lu mau buat tatan nggak mau gitu ya udah lu mau buat tatan maksudnya nggak jualan gitu.
Ya nggak sampai go komersil. Ada yang go komersil.
Ya mungkin ini bedanya kalau mungkin tato di zaman dulu itu mulai dari scene ke scene gitu. Kayak ada yang dari scene musik, ada yang dari scene
Motoran.
gangster, ada dari scene bui dan sebagainya ya. Mungkin beda-beda scene kayak gitu.
Kalau scene-nya yang anak sekarang kan skin anak sekolahan atau skin mahasiswa deh kalau nggak salah.
Scene YouTube juga banyak
Iya,
gitu.
scene
yang
YouTube
yang
ya.
belajar di YouTube terus mereka bisa bilang nulis di bio-nya tatois bahkan. Ya, itu aku rada bingung tuh. How about
Apa ya kalau zaman sekarang tuh berani banget gitu mereka sudah menjual itu gitu. Kalau zaman dulu tuh kayak gue takut banget kayak kayaknya jangan minta bayaran dulu kali ya gitu.
Nah,
Maksudnya kayak
setuju loh.
kalau dibayar nih kayaknya enggak deh gue masih belajar gitu. Gue masih belajar pasti kayak gitu.
Masih ada hati untuk bisa menolak. Kalau mereka kayaknya money oriented juga ya.
atau mungkin beda sudut pandang kali ya. Kalau gue sih ngeliatnya kayak anak yang bisa dibilang yang baru mulai sekarang kayak udah ngelihat role modelnya dulu nih. Basically kayak mungkin ngelihat kakak Nacil gitu. Oh dia nato terus oke, dia jadi famous terus jadi wow sosok yang wow gitu.
Ya dia mah taunya yang sekarang nggak tahu Nacil yang dulu.
Itu yang mereka nggak ngerti kan?
Iya kan?
Itu yang mereka nggak ngerti gitu. Maksudnya
Nah ini
mungkin
yang dikasih tahu tadi barusan dulu Nacil scratchers juga.
Tapi akhirnya
bagus.
sempet setahun sih apprenticeship.
Tetap apprenticeship ya.
Tetap apprenticeship. Nah itu dari situ tuh gue tahu belajar kayak how to sterilize your
equipment ya.
ya sama setupnya harus kayak gimana terus kayak gitu baru tahu kayak gini ternyata gitu dari start dari situ. Sebelumnya nggak tahu harus SOP itu seperti apa gitu. Kalau zaman dulu ya yang nggak dibayar ya itu ya udah nggak dibayar ya nggak apa-apa gitu.
Orang
Cuma
belajar. Iya
orang
kan.
belajar cuma setelah masuk ke studio ya baru belajar SOP segala macam gitu. Udah udah cukup pengetahuan tentang SOP ya sebenarnya start lagi sendiri. Cuma yang penting udah tahu dulu nih basic SOP seperti apa.
Jadi yang paling penting tuh, so the most important things about learning process about the sanitary, the hygiene, the everything about the blood contamination, about everything how you set up your equipment, you cover the equipment, which is like your machine, your wire, like the cords. If you are, sorry guys, ada Valentino Rossi, okay, about the cord, if you are still using the cords, now you got the wireless system. Now that's crazy, right? Back then, no.
I don't use it.
I'm using it because it's good, wire free.
It's easier.
It is easier.
Back then you still use the stainless thing, right? For the grip.
Yeah, it was
But now-
different game. Your ultrasonic,
More easier.
autoclave. You
Yeah.
you had to have the same hygiene and a sterile environment like a dentist or a surgery procedure.
Yeah.
You know, so that is lost, I think, somewhat now because everything is disposable.
Yeah, everything
You
disposable.
know, you have bloodborne pathogens. You know,
Yeah.
cross contamination. And you know it leads to serious disease. You're
Serious.
talking about hepatitis. You're talking about death ultimately.
Yeah.
No, but people forget about that. They just want a quick, easy tattoo, cheap. They don't think about maybe I'm gonna be dead.
Yeah, that's
But that's the reality.
that's
know.
reality.
Yeah, temporary tattoos. That's crazy.
So back again. So when you want to learn about like apprenticeship, so you guys, if you want to learn, start apprenticeship in the right person.
For sure.
Because if you learn from the bad person also, you've lost. You lost. You're gonna.
It's over.
It's over. Game
Before it
over.
began.
Before it began, you're already in the black hole out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's so important to create good habits from the beginning. Choose the right teacher, the right shop. If you start on the that's why I think, if some people are scratching and the shop doesn't want to touch them because it's very hard to break bad habits. You need a blank canvas to start. If I'm teaching somebody or you're teaching somebody, you don't want them to have all these bad habits already.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
And maybe I think like if you doing apprenticeship, you learning about how to respect your senior, like your teacher or your mentor.
Yes,
How to
exactly.
respect with your mentor, like what the experience he doing, like
Yeah, the whole
Maybe,
process.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the respect is passed down. That's the lineage. So important. Like in Japan, if you do an apprenticeship, it's for life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
and they don't teach you hands on. You watch your master, and then you have you're exposed to his library of reference.
Sometimes you
Okay.
just watch your master
Just watch and learn.
until 6 years.
Yeah, exactly.
wow.
Gak boleh rata sampai 6 tahun cuma
Yeah.
ngeliatin dia.
Just look it.
Exactly. And then you make a dedication for life. So that is a ultimate commitment. It's not just
Okay.
Ya, di Jepang parah sih. Kayak gitu.
Iya, makanya sekarang legal. Iya gak sih? Sekarang
Yeah.
legal. Now it's legal.
Yeah. But it's still
To get the title with Hori is really hard, right?
yeah. You have to be given that title. You can't give it to yourself.
Yeah, you're given.
If you're lucky enough and you worked to that point.
Jadi dapet titel
Hori.
Hori itu susah banget di Jepang.
Iya, karena emang legenda juga ya. Titel itu ada Hori 1, 2, 3, 4. Ya,
Enggak
enggak sih?
sih, Hori itu tergantung siapa gurunya
Oke.
gitu. Jadi kayak family-nya ini gitu. Jadi kayak ada family-nya sendiri.
Yep.
I don't know. You understand or not? But I guess yes.
No idea.
But Hori is like there is like 1, 2, 3, 4 something. Like
There can be, yeah. Depends.
Depends of the teacher. Like
If there's a family and the lineage is passed down, then it's. But Horiyoshi 2, in fact, the famous Horiyoshi 2 is not related to Horiyoshi 3. So sometimes it's confusing as well. But it's a whole different world in Japan.
The different culture.
Yeah, they operate in their own bubble. But there's a lot of respect. And I think that's lost. We can learn a lot from how they do it in Japan. For sure.
And I think in Dayak also have something like that also for the
In where?
in Kalimantan.
Oh,
Dayak,
okay. Yeah.
They have something like
for
that,
sure.
like Horiyoshi thingy of the lineage, everything.
Definitely.
They have it. Yeah, I've heard it also. I read some book, but I forgot which book. Too much book I read.
There's a lot of culture with
Yeah.
the tattooing there. Yeah, same like Polynesian, Japanese, Borneo.
Now I want to give my experience also how I learned the process. I skip my apprenticeship for sure, but in the expensive way. I get tattoo from the best artist in Indonesia. I get like this from Angga.
Okay.
I get this like from Aling.
Okay.
So how can I get the SOP? Just watch them. But I know how to draw.
Yeah.
I know how to learn from eyes. I usually just learn from eyes.
Okay.
Just learn from by my vision. I remember the things. You got to wrap this. You got to throw up this. You're gonna just pack that. Just learn by eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
So So I skip it, but I learn it. That's why I said I learn it in an expensive way. I have to pay them to tattoo me, so I copy their ilmu. Apa tuh ilmu? I don't know in English.
The rules,
Replicate their process.
Replicate the process. Yeah.
I think that might not necessarily be the best way, but there's always an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's worked for you.
It works for me, but not for. I don't think everyone else can work. Also,
But I like same as you, right? I didn't eventually serve the apprenticeship the correct way. I was in a few different shops, and they didn't teach me, so I teach myself. And like you, I got tattooed by people, and I watched. I emailed all the best tattooers. I became friends, and you find your own way. A lot of tattooers back then had to do it in this way.
And also I text him, can I get tattoo from you?
Yeah.
Every single second I watch everything. I watch the environment. I learn it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And after the tattoo process, I don't go straight away to my home. I still hang out in the shop to watch him to clean up the table. I don't ask him like permission. Can I watch you clean the table? No, I just like to just check out his table, everything just from a distance,
Cheating.
You're a ninja.
Yeah, you're a ninja. I'm kind of ninja. That's the trick for me.
Yeah. That's the best way, Like in Japan, I said you learn from watching.
Because I don't know how to approach like you guys. I mean, like back then, just let's say I don't know you, I don't know you back then. Then how I can become your friends because we are just from different world also. And then how can I get something apprenticeship from you guys? And then and I think like, okay, I just save up money. I get tattoo from him or her.
Yeah.
Then I learned that
That's
process.
the best way. Yeah. A lot of people did it this way, You have to be a sponge. Just go and just take it all. Yeah. Learn from everybody.
Yeah.
Even sometimes you learn what not to do. But that's still learning.
Just the learning process.
For sure.
Yeah.
Until right now, I'm still learning.
Yeah. If you're not learning, you're doing something wrong though. Right?
Yeah, you're gonna shame to the world. You cannot stop learning because the world not stop teaching, bro.
Exactly. For sure.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Oke guys, bahasa Inggris gue lagi agak bagus dikit nih. Kayak gue harus minum sedikit lagi. Maybe I'm gonna have a drink. You want a drink? There's an empty
Yes,
glass.
sir.
You can check that glass. It's still empty, fresh.
Oh. Is this your sponsorship?
No, I wish. Hey, sorry. You want this or that?
Yeah, I'll go with this. Yeah.
The coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tapi waktu gue dulu di studio juga, gue belajar nonton sih.
Belajar dari menonton.
Nah, dari nonton. Jadi dulu ada satu tato artis namanya Olivier. Tahu nggak Olivier?
Tahu.
Aku nggak tahu.
Hygiene-nya gila banget.
Parah.
Itu gloves bisa habis 10 buat satu kali proses. Jadi kayak habis gloves
apapun yang dia set up gitu. Kayak cuma masang kabel aja buat gitu ya.
Terus dari gitu masang stensil ganti.
Aku pernah dapat klien kayak gitu, Kak.
Masak ini ganti lagi.
Sumpah aku pernah dapat klien kayak gitu. Aku skakmat loh.
Ya?
Iya, jadi kayak habis ngambil stencil printer, you have to use glove. Okay. So they just talking about the crazy Olivier, but it's good, right? The hygiene, but that's my first time I learned it from my client.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy,
it's
right?
pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, malu. Yeah, embarrassing for me.
But you learned.
I learned. And I waste like almost half of the box
Yeah.
of the glove. But now I learn.
Yeah. I know in tattooing you have to learn in unusual ways because like you said, there's not a set way to do it. You have to, you have to hustle a little bit.
Hustle, of course. Hustle.
Yeah, hustle.
Iya, terus sampai gue pernah dimaki-maki sih kayak
Wow.
berantakan banget sih, tisu di mana-mana gini-gini bla, lu nggak usah natusnya lagi kayak gitu.
Anjir.
Terus sampai digituin kayak gue nggak mau lu pakai station gue gini-gini lah, adalah ya mau nggak mau diterima lah, itu kan
Sakit
emang
tapi ya.
salah, sakit ya, emang gimana lagi, emang bener gitu ya udah.
Kamu sakit tapi kamu terima ya, Kak?
Iya.
Mereka aku DM udah baru langsung di blok, Kak. Cuma nanya, Kak sehat, udah di auto blok.
Ya gitu deh, dulu sih kayak gitu, cuma dari situ kan
Jadi belajar.
jadi belajar terus jadi biasa, dari diomel-omelin, oh akhirnya keinget terus tuh jadi harus kayak gimana gitu.
Dihantuin ya, sampai susah tidur kayak itu.
Ya gitu sih, sebenarnya itu sih pentingnya apprenticeship.
Sama sih, gue juga punya pengalaman pertama banget natoin klien yang dari mentor gue. Terus sepanjang gue nato tuh dia ngeliatin di belakang gue, baru ngegaris satu
Kayak
aja.
mantau gini.
Iya, baru ngegaris sekali aja udah digoblok-goblokin gitu. Bego lu ngegaris aja nggak lurus gitu kayak.
Langsung geter tangannya. Tangan langsung geter asli.
Soalnya kan di depan klien banget gitu kayak. Waduh, ini gimana ya gitu. Tapi ya mungkin itu yang dibangun dari mentalnya gitu kayak. Lu baru gini aja lu udah belum kuat gitu, gimana ntar kamu ngejalanin sendiri dan ketemu klien yang mungkin lebih parah lagi mungkin kayak gitu.
Iya. Jadi ya, intinya ya persiapkan sesuatu untuk elemen of surprise-nya tuh banyak. Jadi makanya apprenticeship tuh penting, kayak tadi aku bilang elemen of surprise, kayak Nacil ketemu yang sarung tangannya harus 10 kali ganti. Aku juga kena sekali. Iya, jadi ya penting lah. Nah, kalau kalian bingung mau apprenticeship kemana, coba mungkin Kak Nacil ada tips bagaimana untuk mencari magang ke tato artis mana
Kalau
gitu.
aku sih menerima apprenticeship cuma ada limitnya juga sih, nggak setiap orang di
Iya, ada
enggak.
filterisasinya.
Ada filternya juga. Terus aku mesti ngeliat fotonya kayak gimana dulu.
Dari hand drawing gitu ya.
Portfolionya kayak gimana. Terus ada salah satu apprentice aku di studio, dia sampai sekarang udah 3 tahun belum boleh nato.
Wih, jahat banget.
Karena dia belum bisa gambar.
Oh,
Belum bisa gambar dia. Jadi bener-bener dari nol gitu, gak bisa gambar sama sekali. Jadi sampai sekarang dia masih disuruh ngepel, suruh bersihin ini, tapi tetap dibayar sama kita. Jadi
Nah,
suruh
itu
set up gitu.
mungkin ini nih yang kuncinya, yang karena kemarin gue sempat baca ada yang nerima nggak harus bisa gambar. Nah ini kuncinya nih. Jadi ketika lu nggak bisa gambar, lu mungkin bisa menerapkan apa yang sebelumnya dibilangin sama Kak Radia ya. Lu mungkin kalau belum bisa gambar ya lu jadi apprentice itu sampai lu bisa gambar dulu gitu. Sampai lu ngerti dulu tentang how to drawing yang baik dan benar. baru
Basicnya dulu lah, at least.
ya baru belum nanti mungkin belajar lagi tentang tatonya kayak gitu. Jadi jangan nggak bisa gambar terus boleh nato.
Berarti, tapi menurutku ini each person it's different. Like you want to be your apprentice to have that skill to how to draw, right? I mean, Nachil.
Oh, sorry.
Apa?
Jadi
Punya skill.
harus punya skill drawing berarti ya.
Kalau buat aku ya.
Wajib ya. So
Why?
if someone want to be your apprentice, and then you have to that requirement they have to be drawing,
Skilled for
can
drawing.
draw or from zero.
No, they have to show some
Artwork.
Yeah, for sure. They have to be able to draw. And for me, at least, I don't know. Every style is different. I can only speak for myself. But for me, my apprentice would have to be in love with tattooing, and
Must be in lovers. Okay.
yeah, in love with tattooing and have a passion and appreciation for tattooing.
Yeah.
And then they must have aptitude for drawing. Surely.
Okay.
You know, maybe they're not amazing, but if they have a good work ethic,
Okay. Ethics.
yeah, if they have a good work
Ethics.
ethic, they can grow quickly
Yeah.
if you teach them the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I chose my two apprentices very carefully, same as Nadia doesn't let anybody just become her student.
Ya, jadi gitu. Emang susah kalau mau jadi apprentice-nya dia, tapi cuma tips gua kalau kalian mau nyari apprentice tuh cari ke orang-orang siapapun itu, termasuk kalian misalnya mau bisa ngobrol ke Nachil mungkin via email atau via apa, lu kasih lihat yang bikin dia tertarik. Nah, itu berarti tantangannya ya kan?
Iya.
At least bikin dia bisa
Ya amazed sama.
bisa bikin mata dia nggak ngedip selama 10 detik, berarti lu oke gitu ya nggak sih, kayak ini keren banget anjing ya gitu ya kan. Ya lu harus bisa amaze her.
Tapi biasanya kalau udah bisa ada skill drawing segala macam cepet sih belajar nato.
Ya
Setahun.
lebih cepat
Berapa bulan juga
dibanding
udah
dari
bisa.
yang kosong tadi ya, kayak 3 tahun tuh masih belum.
Cuma sama sih waktu itu dibilangin kalau misalnya mau belajar nato harus bisa semua style dulu. Cuma jadi tuh setelah udah bisa semua
Baru
itu,
dijalurin.
berubahnya gampang.
Oh ya.
Berubahnya gampang. Jadi kalau misalnya udah masuk ke jalur yang pengen style yang ini gitu. Kayaknya bosen nih kayak style yang ini, pengen dirubah dikit Nah berubahnya gampang.
Kamu mau tau gak ini analoginya seperti apa? Kayak kita kuliah tuh ada penjurusan, tapi pas
Iya.
saat sekolah kita diajarin semua materi.
Iya.
Jadi
kayak gitu.
Jadi sistemnya adalah yang namanya apprenticeship ini kayak kita lagi kuliah SD.
Kok kuliah?
Kuliah SD. Sekolah SD anjing ini. Sorry guys. Ya kayak sekolah SD. Jadi pas penjurusannya kata Nadia kalau udah mantap bisa diarahin ke yang lain, enak ya. Kayak gitu sih. And then kayaknya udah.
Ini
Apalagi nih?
Harusnya idealnya tuh kalau apprentice itu berapa lama idealnya? Karena kan banyak yang nanya ini.
Nah yang tadi karena dia bilang kalau lu bisa gambar cepet.
Iya, kalau misalnya lo udah punya skill, misalnya lo ilustrator atau misalnya graphic design gitu.
Iya.
Emang udah ada skillnya, gampang belajar ya. Cuma kalau misalnya dari nol bener-bener nol, kalau tapi lu punya niat yang kuat kayak dia bilang, kalau udah pengen bener-bener belajar, pengen
Banget
bisa
lah.
banget gitu. Pasti cepet juga sih belajar, tergantung orang sebenarnya.
Ya basic lagi orang ya kebanyakan micin apa kagak gitu sih. Ya emang ya sorry guys, kalian tahu kan mulutku kadang-kadang gak disekolahin ya gitu. So yeah, MSG bro, you love MSG?
What's an MSG?
Emang di luar ada
MSG in the food?
Yes.
Yeah, it's tasty. Toxic.
Iya, it's toxic. Oke, itu ceritanya tentang apprentice ya teman-teman yang di rumah. So apprentice tipsnya kalian harus yang tadi aku bilang bikin amaze siapapun yang kalian tuju. Dan
Oh tapi kemarin kan ada yang nanya tuh Tapi saya kerja Kak. Gimana apprentice-nya?
No alasan seharusnya sih. Iya gak sih? Gak pakai alasan.
Kalau di tempat gue sih, di tempat dia malah orangnya pada kerja semua kayak 9 to 5 gitu kayak office hour. Right, your apprentice still working, right?
Yeah. I have two apprentices. And
They're still
both
working.
of them are doing full time and apprenticing at the shop because I don't know about here, but in Ireland it's unpaid. So you're paying by giving your time. I'm paying my apprentice by teaching him the trade, the art form, the craft of tattooing. You know?
But they still working for another.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They have to work to have some money, and then
Ya nggak apa-apa sebenarnya kayak masih kerja. Cuma dia apprentice, cuma yang penting niat gitu. Kalau
Iya.
gue dulu habis kerja ke situ, habis kerja ke situ
Nah,
gitu.
berarti
Jadi
kuncinya cuma satu, pembagian waktu kan?
kayak, iya,
Berarti jangan malas bagi
ya
waktu.
males, jangan kayak setengah-setengah. kalau mau belajar
Janganlah
ya.
setengah-setengah, gila lo.
Kalau menurut gue sih kalau udah passion ya, apapun pasti dilakuin sih ya. Kayak gue dulu juga ngemulai ini, gue masih kerja gitu. Gue masih ngantor juga dulu kan sebelum
Oh Mas Dede dulu pekerja kantor. Masih mending aku dulu pegawai sepeda guys. Mungkin kalian tahu aku dulu pegawai sepeda fiksi.
sempat ngantor juga. Jadi balik ngantor harus ke studio tato buat cleaning dulu.
Gitu. Ya kalau misalnya kerja yang penting ya kalau mau belajar niat lah.
Kasarnya ya maaf nih anggap aja nih ya. Lu belajar sendiri kayak gak niat. Terus lu mau apprentice juga gak niat. Terus klien lu yang datang lu juga gak ada yang mau ditato sama lu yang kayak kagak niat. Iya gak sih? Iya. It's actually very bad words.
it's your podcast.
Yeah. I know. Jadi sesi kali ini aku sangat berterima kasih banget ada tamu spesial 2 ini yang datang jauh dari Irlandia. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you, very
much.
welcome.
So second topic, apa nih second topiknya?
Mungkin next step dari apprentice nih.
Oh ya. Transformasi from tattoo apprentice to tattoo artist.
Nah,
Transformation.
Nah mungkin ini yang harus dijelasin dulu nih. Karena masih banyak juga yang nanya ke gua, Bang apa sih tato artis, tatois, tatoer, dan bla bla bla. Nah mungkin banyak orang yang gak ngerti apa itu.
There's a lot, right? A lot of names.
Tattooist, tattooer, tattooer. Yeah. No differences. Same
Yeah,
shit, different
same.
smell.
Many questions to me like, what the different tattooer, tattooist, tattoo blah blah blah.
I think though in like the UK they say maybe tattooist or tattoo artist. In America it's tattooer.
Yeah.
But whatever.
In Indonesia, tukang
Tomato.
tato.
Oh yeah.
Menurut gue tukang tato itu sebelum jadi tataris tukang tato bener. Kata
Iya,
lu.
kayak gue.
Kalau tukang tato, dulu gue pernah dibilang sama temen gue kayak, lu mau jadi tukang tato atau tato artis gitu. Gue mau jadi tato artis lah. Ya udah lu cari style lah gitu. Dari situ gue baru digging. Oh ya gue harus cari
Nah
style.
kuncinya itu tadi barusan itu guys. Apa itu tato artis? Tato artis itu yang udah menjurus ya kan. Maksudnya lu udah create something. Lu udah create brand. Lu udah create yourself as create diri lu sendiri sebagai lu. Lu tuh ngejual diri lu ya kan. Kok gak salah gitu ya kata kasarnya. Artis tuh kan bebas.
Ngejual stylenya lah lebih tepatnya mungkin kayak ngejual apa yang.
Kalau bahasa kasarnya ngejual diri.
Jual diri.
Ngejual diri serem banget.
Ya gak sih?
Enggak lah.
Nah gini. Kayak kena chill. Pasti yang mau datang mau bikin yang begitu dong stylenya. Yang colorful, pastel color, apa itu yang agak feminim juga ya kan. Gak mungkin yang datang ke lu tiba-tiba minta bikin tribal yang zaman dulu banget tuh yang kayak Mike Tyson. Kayaknya gak mungkin kan.
Kadang-kadang ada juga
Tapi orang lain kan yang kerjain kan.
yang langsung dioper kan.
Ya, nah maksud gue gitu guys. Jadi yang namanya tato artis itu yang udah menjurus. Jadi dia cuma terima apa yang dia suka.
Iya betul.
Dan itu gak gampang.
Nggak gampang.
Nah, itu udah gak gampang.
Tergantung dompet anjing kalau gue itu.
Dan itu gak gampang.
Dompet.
Kok enggak, kalau gue tergantung dompet. Kalau gue lagi akhir bulan kan gue habis bayar ini, dompet gue tipis, lu minta tribal ya udahlah gue kerjain. Kalau gue gitu. Jadi makanya gue masih sebut diri gue tukang. Gue belum bisa mengangkat nama artis yang berat itu, menurut gue belum sih.
Kalau gue sih kadang-kadang gue masih ngerjain style yang lain. Kalau orangnya maksa banget pengen ditato sama Nacil gitu. Nah tapi dia pengen.
Itu salah lu. Lu udah bikin diri lu sebagai star.
Tapi nggak gue post.
Ya.
Udah intinya kayak ya udah gue buatin, gue bisa kok gitu. Tapi
orang terlahir udah bisa.
Kadang ditanya nanti Kak di post nggak? Ya enggak lah, orang bukan style gue gitu.
Iya.
Kadang ya gue jujur aja ngomong.
Iya, baik jujur. Gitu sih.
Even ya itu tadi balik lagi. Even mungkin lo udah yakin sama satu style yang lo jalanin itu juga banyak rintangannya juga gitu. Nggak semudah apa yang kalian lihat di sosial media gitu kayak. Oh nih si tato artis A bikin gini berhasil, terus lo dengan mudahnya kayak gue mirip-miripin doi aja deh ya kali dia, siapa tahu gue jerempet-jerempet dikit gitu kan. Banyak tuh yang gitu-gitu kan ya. Jadi kayak sebenarnya yang kalian lihat itu tidak semudah apa yang kalian bayangkan gitu. Jadi kalau pengalaman aku pribadi ya mendingan cari memang yang kalian suka aja gitu, kayak lo nemunya di mana. Karena aku sendiri juga menemukan hal itu gitu. Ketika dulu aku emang suka banget traditional old school gitu, sampai di beberapa tahun kemudian akhirnya aku kayak nemuin kayaknya gue jenuh nih, gue pengen belok. Iya pengen belok. Akhirnya gue nemuin satu style lagi yang memang mungkin ini saat ini lagi gue sukain gitu, kayak gitu. Dan ya semoga ini akan terus.
Why you pick Irezumi style?
Yeah,
what's the reason?
What the reason to?
That's a heavy question.
Very heavy.
I think it found me. I didn't find Irezumi. Because I used to live in Thailand. And because I'm half Asian, half Indonesian, I was always in love with the Asian culture. And, I was living in Thailand and I was getting a tattoo and I seen a photograph on the wall of the bodysuits. And I just fell in love with that this is possible to make that on the skin,
Okay.
But I love the respect, like we were talking about earlier, the whole culture of Irezumi, that it's kind of taboo and it's hidden.
Yeah,
and it's
taboo.
kind of underground. And it was immediate. It was, I fell in love immediately with it.
Okay. And it's also lasts forever.
Exactly, man.
Not like tiny tattoo.
Yeah, that's what a tattoo is.
Yeah.
Longevity.
Yeah.
It's permanent. That's
eternal.
What is a tattoo. Yeah.
Eternal to your
That's why I
skin.
don't understand temporary tattoos. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Tapi setelah dia jelasin tentang Irezumi, orang tua yang udah keriput gitu, itu keren banget sih kalau Irezumi.
Kan? Makanya gue bilang itu yang paling tahan lama. Makanya gue dibanding tiny tattoo yang garis tipis-tipis. Yeah, so about comparing between Irezumi to tiny tattoo, and then we convert it to 50 years later.
Exactly. Yeah, because
The grandpa have a full body suit. It looks so bloody cool.
It's elegant, right?
It's
elegant.
Luxury,
It's
elegant, classy.
Yeah, you wear it like you wear a nice suit. You know what I mean?
Even you're naked.
Yeah. Well, if you like. No, but it actually gets better over time.
Yeah.
Irezumi. After 10 years, it looks better.
Yeah.
Because it's, you've worn it. Like when you get a pair of jeans, after 6 months, it's you wear it.
It's wore out.
But yeah, I don't want to criticize small tattoos, but I don't understand it. It's different from me. It's like,
I'm still doing small tattoos.
we gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, we gotta do what I have to do because I got to.
But I respect that too. It's a different lane.
Yeah,
It's a different
lane.
avenue.
Yeah.
So I used to talk shit about different styles, but now I respect everything. everything has its place except temporary tattoos.
I actually sarcas my own regular client, you know, like to be, you got to do make something bigger.
Make it bigger.
Yeah, start big, go big or go home.
Because that's the
it.
number one complaint, right? People come back and they say, "Oh, I wish I got it bigger."
Nah, that's the like 1 year later. I wish I make.
I want to add something to make it bigger.
Add something.
So I always try to make the customer go as big as possible.
Yeah. Think like 20 years ahead.
Exactly. For sure.
Dan mungkin ini ada tambahan ya. Gue pernah punya pengalaman nih. Kayak gue dapat DM gitu dari salah satu klien. Terus dia ngirimin gambarnya si Nacil nih ke gue gitu kan. Kak bisa gak bikin gini? Terus gue langsung balas aja. Kak sorry ya. Aku nih sama Nacil temenan aku gitu. Kenapa kamu gak bikin ke dia aja gitu. Soalnya dia dengan punya masalah dengan budgetnya dia gitu kayak ya akhirnya aku bilangin kayak ya lu harusnya appreciate itu dong gitu. Lu harusnya kayak gini deh. Aku analogiin kayak lu ke desainer gitu. Nah sama lu ke tukang jahit permak kan beda gitu. Jadi ketika lu ke desainer ya desainer itu akan ngedesain baju lu fit sama body lu. Dicocokin sama muka lo ya kan.
Pokoknya lo siap didandanin lah ya kan.
Kayak gitu. Beda sama lo ke tukang jahit permak yang cuman mau diapain nih bang? Dikecilin. Oke, ntar dikecilinnya gimana kan bodo amat gitu kan. Nah kayak gitu. Jadi enggak harusnya mungkin lebih respect aja lah terhadap maupun kenal atau nggak kenal sih ya. Maksudnya kayak respect aja sama karya orang.
Berarti gue contohin deh ya. Gue sebagai klien, lu sebagai artisnya. Kak aku mau nato ini. Ini desainnya dia. Berarti lu langsung nolak ke dia ya. Nolak ke gue maksudnya suruh arahin ke dia ya.
Iya bahkan aku langsung direct biasanya. Aku langsung kirimin IG-nya. Ini yang bikin gitu. Gue tahu gitu. Ini yang bikin. Lu langsung kontak dia aja gitu.
Nah, berarti ini yang kalian harus tahu nih guys. Dengan cerita seperti tadi, itu juga kalian harus belajar kalau lu emang suka sama karyanya seseorang itu. Tadi kan topiknya Nacil ada yang disukain karyanya, tapi dia minta ke Dede yang bikin. Ya lu kalau emang menghargai karyanya Nacil ya monggo langsung monggo langsung ke dia langsung gitu loh. Jangan cari orang lain yang bisa bikinin ke dia. Sebenarnya banyak. Tapi nggak akan ada yang bisa sempurna dia. Banyak yang hancur maksudnya.
dan mungkin yang perlu digarisbawahi kalau setiap tangan itu pasti beda.
Beda, kita terlahir beda cuy.
Setiap karya orang itu beda. Setiap gambar yang dihasilkan sama tattoo artis itu pasti beda gitu.
Beda.
Kayak kalau aku dikasih gambarnya si Nacil juga buat gue sekarang ya waduh ribet bro.
Baca stensilnya males sumpah.
Itu sih salah satu yang gue mikir panjang banget itu. Kayak misalnya kan gue setiap tahun pasti ada perubahan dikit nih. Pasti kayak karakter style
kayak
pasti
update lah ya, update OS.
Kayak enggak, iya benar kayak enggak sama terus gitu. Ada berubah dikit tapi tetap sama gitu. Ada benang merahnya. Itu sebenarnya yang gue rubah dikit itu. Ini gimana ya caranya supaya nggak bisa ditiru? Gimana ya supaya bisa ditiru? Itu yang gue ituin. Soalnya selama gue perjalanan berubah style itu pasti ada kayak misalnya gue buat nih ini pasti berapa bulan atau setahun kemudian ada nih yang niru. Terus udah gitu gue harus berubah lagi nih. Kira gue berubah lagi masih ditiru juga sampai di titik ini belum ada sih. Sampai di titik ini.
Secara basic ngelihat stensil lu aja lu pusing gak sih? Lu sendiri pusing gak ngelihat stensil lu?
Enggak sih.
Karena udah terbiasa ya.
Nah dulu awal-awal masih gue harus bisa ngerjainin. Itu nantang juga sih kayak nantang diri gue sendiri kayak dulu gue gimana ya cara ngeblok warna supaya solid gitu.
Nah, dan gak owe.
Nah itu gue cari mesin yang cocok, cari tinta yang cocok, cari jarum yang cocok, kayak ngulik aja terus ngulik
terus ya.
Jadi kayak ganti mesin nggak enak, ganti lagi gitu
Gue
ngulik.
siap nampung.
Kayak akhirnya gue nggak kepake tuh mesin gue kasih ke apprentice gue.
Okay.
Jadi kayak
wah, hatinya mulia guys.
jadi jadi gue tahu juga nih, mesin ini cocoknya buat salah ini, mesin ini cocoknya buat salah ini gitu. Jadi gue ngulik juga.
Juga.
Nah ini pertanyaan buat kalian yang suka nanya nih, kok harganya tato artis A lebih mahal dibanding tato artis B? Ini jawabannya. Experience mereka yang kalian bayar. Mereka ini experience-nya ngeluarin banyak duit juga. Beli mesin itu nggak murah bro. Beli tinta nggak murah bro.
Bahkan
Gitu.
dia aja waktu itu gue yang kasih tahu, pakai mesin ini nih lebih enak, pakai tinta ini lebih enak. Akhirnya ya udah dia berubah semua. Before that you using a different machine, right? Before I told you.
Now you're seeing DK.
Dan Cuban, yeah, only the best.
One of the best. You should try hybrid tattoo machine, bro.
Oh yeah, like what?
It's a hybrid tattoo machine. It's from Russia. It looks like something like DK,
All right,
but
okay.
it's like,
The cheaper version.
of course, but it's powerful.
Yeah, listen, I'm open to using whatever. Just I use Dan Cuban because Nadia's used.
Because Nadia,
And actually, I know Dan Cuban. I used to talk to him years ago when he first started making machines.
the V3,
Yeah, no, way before.
The
I thought-
V1.
Dia sebelum pas pertama kali Dan Kubin
yeah,
bikin,
yeah, the
dia
V1
kontak
sidewinder.
Dan Kubinnya langsung
I
kayak
bought it.
ngobrol.
So you were also in the Rotary Forum?
Yeah.
I am also there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm also there.
Yeah, because I
I watch him like since the V1 sidewinder.
yeah. I bought like a machine from Dan, I think 10 or 11 years ago. Before he was big deal,
Oh, yeah.
So he was only starting and yeah, I started with coils for 6 months and then after that I used every rotary machine.
Rotary,
Yeah, I'm sure like
I'm
this-
Rotary freaks also.
Yeah, like Stigma, the Bazaar, the this, that, and then eventually you just find your way.
Yeah.
But the game is different now. There's so many rotary machines.
The Rotary just changed the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Even someone called themselves like, I'm loyal to the coil. When I ask them to try my machine, okay,
Yeah,
I will
but I think
buy
it's
that.
about the styles too.
Yeah.
If you're an American traditional tattooer,
A big fat liner.
yeah, and the difference with it's like a car. You can if you're using a coil machine, you can orchestrate the machine and tune the machine to exactly how you work.
Yes.
And then you understand the geometry and the mechanics of the machine.
That's true.
That's a lot like with American traditional and Japanese tattooers. But if you're realism, you don't want to worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
You're just
That's
about
true.
the application. Yeah. So it's, there's different worlds.
Yeah, now it's different.
It is. Yeah. It is though, isn't it?
Even now we are just talk about this topic like the apprenticeship and then how to make them understand it. Just understand it, like comparing
Yeah.
back then and to the new era. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Susah nggak sih ngambil garisnya Kak?
Susah.
Maksud-
Orang mereka
Batu
enggak, bukan, mereka tuh kayak
udah emosi.
udah
Mukanya udah berubah emosi.
mereka tuh udah tahu gimana sih dapat duit gitu. Jadi
money
buat
oriented.
ngedigging lagi kayak udah males gitu.
Udah males ya.
Kalau misalnya
Udah kenal
kita
duit.
kan dulu
Kita malah yang ngeluarin duit gak sih? Kasarnya kalau dulu kita bayar orang jadi kanvas kayak gue dulu. Kayak anak pang tendean gue panggil. Sini gue beliin lu Amer 2 botol lu gue tatoin gitu.
ya gitu. Kalau zaman sekarang mungkin karena udah keenakan dapet duit, jadi mereka ya udahlah pakai mesin seadanya, ya udahlah pakai jarum seadanya gitu, ya udah nggak ngulik, yang penting jadi.
Penting jadi.
Kalau misalnya kita kan, kalau misalnya gue sih sampai sekarang pun gitu, gue masih kayak pakai ganti mesinnya ini, coba gitu. Misalnya kayak tetap ngedigging supaya
Nyoba-nyobanya
bikin
dia
style
mesin
gua
belasan
perfect tuh kayak-
juta kampret.
kayak style gue tuh perfect jadinya, shieldnya bagus. Gue harus pakai jarum apa?
Pakai jarum apa? Black
Sekarang
Claw.
Black Claw, ya Black Claw sih. Terus dan dapetinnya susah.
Iya, kamu impor sendiri kan pasti?
Enggak,
Nitip.
selalu nitip dia.
Oke, jurus.
Jadi gue beli kirim ke dia, terus dia bawa ke sini. Kadang-kadang dia kirim sini. Jadi kayak kalau di sini susah sih dapetin black claw.
Mana ada? Nggak ada supplier jual black claw.
Kalau di compare sama jarum-jarum lain, nggak ada apa-apanya sih.
Aku aja sampai nemu cartridge yang terenak cuma Quadron doang. Makanya aku nyetok banyak Quadron. Ya please lah, jangan nawar masih loh. Masa NATO nawar sama gue pakai jarum yang terbaik loh di Indonesia ya. Quadron gila.
Kadang Quadron juga susah sih nyari sini. Cuma Quadron standar needle nya Quadron sama black claw itu beda banget sih.
Jauh masih bagusan black claw karena kalau kita ngomongin jarum batang sih emang black claw kagak ada nomor nomor satunya ya, nomor duanya tuh gue tahu itu dari si Saltwater Tattoo Supply itu dia juga jual. Ada satu jarum mereknya Saltwater tuh dia ada kayak holonya kayak turbo liner.
Tim Hendrix.
Yeah, Tim Hendrix. Yeah, I used to buy from Saltwater also.
That was one of my first machines. From Tim,
My first.
Do you want to share it? Do you want to share
I
it?
sold it already. Good luck with that one.
I'm searching right now.
Yeah, but he learned from Dan Drinenberg, you know. So he came from another lineage. You know, he was a really he's a great tattooer too. Yeah, for sure.
Gue ambil.
Lu joinan aja ada gelas gue nggak? Lu joinan gelas gue.
Sure.
Cheers guys.
Cheers.
Nah guys, kita semua udah full rapid. Apalagi rapid gue aja belum habis yang kemarin dari Surabaya. Aduh, ntar lagi
Same like me. Before I try much machine, like I try rotary machine, I try coil and everything. But right now,
Go back to the old.
back to the old machine because I don't know. I'm really comfortable with Drinkenberg because
Oh, this one is Dan Drinenberg.
yeah.
Yeah, he teach Tim Hendrix how to make.
Yeah. And I really amazing because like I using from 2000
Oh, you're old.
You're all.
yeah 2000 and what and then until right now I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
And
it makes a brilliant machines.
Yeah.
Well, my friend Tommy is good friends with Dan, and he has like when he opens his drawer, he has like 50 Dan Drinenberg machines. Yeah,
5-0?
yeah. But they're the Rolls Royce of tattoo machines.
Rolls
Mickey
Royce.
Sharps, Dan Drinenberg. You know.
Yeah. I sold my Mickey Sharps. I sold my Sunskin.
Very sad.
The left only workhorse iron now.
Yeah, that was my first machines as well. You know, Sets of Fairy.
Same.
Yeah.
That's very the winner dog.
Yeah, yeah,
The winner dog.
Yeah, man.
V2.
yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Tim Hendrix and the Wiener Dog. They were my first two machines.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
So
and I don't know like I tried Dan Gubin too like but I'm not found like if I using coil like more specification like if I want like that coil can do it.
Yeah, more control.
Yeah, more control.
I
Like
think Dan Kuban is for people that use rotary, but they want to have the coil feeling.
yeah.
You know, but if you're
Yeah,
a real coil tattooer, you don't need to use Dan Kuban.
yeah.
You already understand everything. You know?
I've tried the V6,
Oh yeah.
but
How was it?
I don't really like it.
Yeah, that's the new one, the V6.
The V6.
Physics. Oh.
Punyanya Berti, punyanya Rian Berti dia punya kemarin. Aku cobain. Karena dia punya
Settingannya sih. Jadi kalau udah dibikin, maksudnya kita kan beli, pas beli di webnya, itu nanti minta disettingin kayak gimana.
mau minta hard hitter, soft
iya.
hitter gitu-gitu ya.
Cuma kalau misalnya udah di set ke hard terus
Ke soft.
ke soft, itu udah gak enak.
Oke.
Jadi kayak apa namanya, kalau udah dipakai buat style itu pakai aja terus buat style itu.
Jadi
kalau
makanya harus beli banyak.
kalau berubah style Terus si mesinnya dirubah maksudnya di set buat soft gitu. Udah gak enak. Tuh katanya sih tuh.
Kalau aku comparingnya sama hybridku ya. Jadi hybridku ini secara hybrid tattoo machine in geometrics, in how it works, it's pretty the same like Dan Kubin with
But Dan Kubin is a hybrid as well though, right?
Yeah.
Essentially it's a hybrid. No?
I only don't like the noise
Oh, of the Dan Kubin or just, yeah, okay.
because it's too noisy.
Yeah.
I'm using like 5. You're using like 6 volt, 5 volt,
I like the noise
4
though.
to 5.
4 to 5.
More stronger.
I like the noise. Because, you know, it feels
like a
real.
tattoo.
Iya.
If the silent like
No, the noise, bro. The noise is like you are in the high pitch like Celine Dion. But the hybrid, it's like coil sound.
Oh, okay.
Really like coil sound.
Okay, I understand, yeah.
Yeah. But the power is the same.
Oh, I thought
Power.
you meant like no sound, you know? Like airbrush.
I will show you later.
Yeah, single
Gay
needle.
machine.
Like a gay.
Gay machine.
No.
Sayan?
Yeah, that's not a tattoo.
Tapi gue kalau ngerjain yang soft itu masih pakai Cheyenne.
Masih ada tuh si Spirit Thunder dua-duanya.
Gue kan kayak orangnya penasaran banget gitu.
Oh ya lu
Wah, ada
pasti banyak.
banget ya. Dia kolektor deh.
2018 nih pas dia di Bali Tattoo Expo tuh kan gue videoin dia di booth dia pas gue kan pas itu gue jadi videografer Magic Ink juga. Terus gue masuk ke booth lo, di situ gue videoin lo Nato, gue ngeliat setup lo tuh di situ ada Spirit, ada Thunder di meja lo. Terus gue ngeliat kok nih orang makainya Saiyan, terus dalam hati gue ternyata cewek tuh dalam hati gue berarti sukanya yang ringan-ringan.
Oh.
Terus sekarang nyoba pakai Dan Kubin berarti ya
Enggak dong.
salah ekspektasi gue.
Dulunya ini gue kan pakai coil juga kan. Iya dulu pakai coil terus karena
Capek,
bukan
berat,
capek kayak
kesemutan. Pas udahannya kan kesemutan kan.
kesemutan sampai
2 hari, 3 hari ya.
semingguan gitu. Akhirnya kayaknya harus pakai rotary nih. Akhirnya menyesuaiin lagi gitu beli Cheyenne kan. Dulu nih gak enak enteng segala macam gitu.
Melayang-melayang tangannya asli.
Akhirnya tapi hilang akhirnya si
Iya.
semutannya itu. Ya udah mau nggak mau ya udah daripada nggak bisa nato selamanya ya kan. Akhirnya ganti berubah ke Cheyenne. Kan berubah style lagi tuh. Berubah style lagi. Ya udah satu-satunya yang cocok sama style gue yang sekarang ya DK gitu.
Hidup
Mau
mesin
nggak mau,
sultan
tapi-
guys. Ntar ya
Tolong Dan
kalian-
Kubin sponsor.
kata dia mimpi lu. Iya. Oke, ini udah lumayan lama nih kita 1 jam 5 menit. Ada lagi yang mau kita bahas kakak-kakak?
Enggak sih.
Cukup. Jadi guys, mohon maaf jika emang obrolannya agak panjang lebar. Kalian tahu kan kenapa kalau aku suka lari dari topik ya inilah. Tapi kan tetap balik lagi karena dia yang ngingetin, oh ya tadi kita bahas topik ini. Oke, bagus ada yang ngontrol. Soalnya aku gak mau podcast yang serius-serius banget Kak.
Sama.
Takutnya mereka gak betah nontonnya.
Tapi kita ngebahas mesin kayak mereka juga kayak nggak ngerti.
Nah, tapi oke. Yang bahas mesin tadi artinya siapapun bebas memakai mesin apapun tergantung kecocokannya untuk fungsi ke stylenya. Kayak gitu gak sih kata-katanya?
Iya.
Jadi kan kayak tadi aku ambil garis merah kayak Mas Dede. Sekarang malah balik lagi ke coil karena emang dia butuh garis yang sangat tegas kalau mau bikin ornamental atau old school atau tradisional tuh bold line-nya enak pakai siapa tadi itu si Mbah Degenberg ya. Si Mbah. Terus si Nadia bilang untuk style dia sekarang yang paling cocok adalah Dan Kubin dan dia punya beberapa unit Dan Kubin itu ya satunya biji aja, satu bijinya Dan Kubin ya satu vario. Mungkin dia udah punya dealer sekarang. Iya. Terus balik lagi mesin itu ada fungsinya masing-masing. Gak semua orang bisa ngendalin juga termasuk aku. Aku gak cocok ke Dan Kubin. Aku udah coba, untung belum beli. Kalau sampai kebeli langsung gue jual lagi sih.
Ya mungkin Nacir mau nampung.
Apa itu?
Oh enggak, dia mau nambung yang Lenam, yang di Vietnam.
Emang ada? Sini gue beli.
Enggak rencana.
OTW.
Ntar rencana kita mau ngimport banyak sih.
Oh ya.
Heeh.
Bagus deh.
Buat tes dulu enak pakai. Kalau enak beli lagi dagangin, kita mau jadi
Supplier.
H2001 bukan H2000, H2001.
Tapi di luar, kalau di luar belinya gampang sih.
Ya.
Dewa,
Iya.
gampang. Cuma kalau di sini.
Nah kan Indonesia ini banyak kan tato artis yang sangat terbatas cara membeli dari luarnya itu loh. Banyak kan titipan-titipan, titip dari teman. Kayak Dan Kubin aja kayak Tiber nitip dari teman. Terus nitipnya kan ke Hellbob juga kan.
Ya, atau beli second.
Atau beli second. Terus kayak aku dulu malah aku kerja samanya sama Om Deddy si Ryuji.
Oh Ryuji.
Aku dulu sering import bareng sama Ryuji. Terus kayak kemarin akhirnya berhasil nyoba import beberapa kayak nih printer ini Eclipse dari Worldwide Tattoo Supply. Terus ngimport ada ink machine yang terbaru kemarin Scorpion. Have you heard the ink machine Scorpion? The machine's very weird.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's very weird. Wireless but weird looking.
Weird is okay. We're all weird.
Yeah.
I never heard.
Ya emang kendala di Indonesia banyak banget susah yang import kan nggak semua orang juga punya kartu kredit. Masa yang tato-tato artis pelosok, maaf sorry bukannya menghina kayak. Lu juga nggak.
Tapi kadang kartu kredit sini juga nggak diterima sih.
Nah setuju.
Iya.
Setuju.
Dan shipping ke sini juga nggak semuanya bisa.
Iya.
Contoh kayak Nordic Tattoo Supply, dia Nordic Tattoo Supply cannot send here.
Oh, right.
Cannot.
Okay.
There is no Indonesian. There is no Indonesia options to choose Nordic Tattoo Supply.
What about Barber in the UK, no?
They still have Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
Like Worldwide Tattoo
Maybe you
Supply,
should make your own.
Painful Pleasure. No, I don't want. I don't want to
Maybe
that
me and
business.
Andy will make one.
I don't want to be that business.
Yeah?
I don't want.
Let's do it. Listening, guys.
Black Claw.
www.
Claw. You have to-
Really?
www.sidespace tattoo supply.
Ya.
Ya.
Maybe.
Aku order dong ya.
Oh ya guys, studionya Natchil bagi yang belum tahu itu ada Side Space itu di Jakarta. Kalau Sean ada di Ireland, Side Space Ireland. Instagramnya semuanya aku tulis di bawah sini. Kalian follow juga Instagramnya mereka semua. Aku tulis semua detailnya di situ. Nggak usah follow aku, nggak usah follow Dede. Aku yakin kalian udah follow.
Just follow everybody.
Ada lagi nggak kak? Udah cukup.
Cukup.
Ada yang offset yang harus kita lurusin tadi kayak kita tadi ngomongin mesin kan udah kelurusin. Setiap mesin harus ada fungsinya.
Nah itu sih kayak banyak banget tato artis yang nanya kayak, Mas kalau rotary ini gimana sih, kalau jarum cartridge nih gimana sih? Ya itu balik lagi kayak experience lu masing-masing gitu. Nggak bisa lu nanya ke tato artis lain gitu kayak, Kak ini gimana ya? Selama lu belum nyoba menurut gue ya bullshit gitu kayak ya harus coba sendiri gitu.
Coba sendiri enaknya di mana sih?
Makanya di Indonesia ini ada tradisi kayak teman baru beli motor baru. Gue cobain dong motor lu. Biar tahu enak apa kagak. Analoginya kayak gitu tuh. Jangan sampai nyobain pacar teman. Biar lu tahu nggak boleh digaplok lo iye. Sorry guys agak nyasar. Pokoknya jarum, tinta semua lu harus experience sendiri. Apalagi kalau lu masih baru belajar nato jangan.
Dia maaf. Abal-abal.
Iya jangan langsung nyari klien di fake skin aja belajarnya untuk.
Dan satu lagi sih pengen gue tambahin kalau setiap tato artis punya gayanya masing-masing. Jadi nggak bisa kayak apabila cuman lo ngelihat satu tato artis A terus lo terapin ke lo sendiri. Itu nggak akan berfungsi karena
Bisa jadi nggak berfungsi, setuju.
Nah, karena kecepatan tangan lo dengan kecepatan tangan si A dan si B ini pasti beda.
Beda.
Cara lo shading, cara lo lining itu pasti akan menemukan yang berbeda-beda gitu. Dan aku rasa nggak bisa lo aplikasiin kayak, oh si A nih natonya gini terus lo aplikasiin tuh, menurut gue lo harus cari sendiri gitu sampai lo nemu
Sesuatu yang fit sama lu.
iya karakter lo di sini nih gitu.
Oke. Intinya apprenticeship, belajar bikin artwork dulu kalau kalian mau terjun ke apprenticeship. Bikin calon mentor atau calon guru kalian bangga untuk first impresinya, itu yang paling penting. Habis itu kalian akan mencari equipment yang pas. Habis itu kalian baru bisa menjadi tato artis. Dari sekian lama proses itu baru kalian menuju ke jalan yang benar.
Jalan yang benar. Nggak menyesatkan ya?
Iya, nggak sesat.
Nggak ada tuh 2 hari bisa atau nggak ada? Nggak ada.
Kalian kalau aku bikin kursus gitu sih, gue digaplokin sama Dede pasti. Anjing lu baru nato kemarin sore aja udah bikin kursus, pasti gitu-gituin gue sama Dede.
Apalagi beliau inilah.
Iya kan, ya kan gue yang dekat aja, dia gaplok masih lewatin mic banyak.
Jadi nggak ada lah, maksudnya nikmatin aja setiap prosesnya, nikmatin aja setiap apa yang lo lakuin gitu. Jadi nggak usah malu buat belajar gitu, tetap aja terus belajar karena kita juga semuanya tetap terus belajar.
Iya, pokoknya bikin idola lu terpukau sama hasil lu. Coba Kak Nacil gimana?
Apa tuh?
Pesan dan kesan.
Iya,
Kesan dan kesannya apa ya? Ya nggak gampang sih, kayak 2 hari lu dapat apa sih? Cuma bisa apa sih gitu? Kayak gue sendiri aja sampai sekarang masih digging gitu, kayak misalnya harus pengen style ini, mesinnya pakai apa, jadinya pakai apa gitu. Gue masih kayak ngulik
ya.
gitu. Dan sekarang gue lagi ngulik. Gue pengen bikin yang masif, maksudnya pengen bikin yang kayak gede, full body, terus full
body
sleeve
suit
gitu.
Ya.
Gue masih belajar gimana caranya bikin apa ya? Kayak dia sih, kayak bikin
Di resume
supaya kelihatan dari depan, dari sini sama dari sini
enak dilihat semua.
enak dilihat.
Oke.
Kayak
Estetikanya
apa ya?
namanya.
Estetika ya?
Iya.
Kayak
Angle-nya gitu.
angle
Ya.
kalau Irazumi kan dilihat dari semua sisi harus
Enak.
gitu kelihatannya.
berarti
Kalau yang misalnya
estetika.
nggak enak kelihatannya, berarti salah, berarti gagal. Gitu.
Berarti gagal.
Nah, gue lagi belajar itu kayak susah banget gitu belajar itu, kayak bikin background yang
yang
full
enak
sleeve,
dilihat ya.
background yang bagus kayak gimana, yang enak melihat dari semua sisi, itu susah banget. Kalau nggak tiap hari diterapinnya susah banget. Kayak dia tuh udah jago banget sih dia.
Iya, karena mostly kan Irezumi kan backgroundnya kan gede banget tuh ya. And mostly like Irezumi, it's mostly the background is like the most important thing. Like
my teacher from Japan, he explained to me like the main theme, like the warrior or the dragon is like the first actor, and the background is like the supporting actor.
Okay.
So they have to complement each other. So if the samurai is too good and the background is weak, the whole composition is weak. So it has to be balanced. Yeah, for sure.
Composition,
Exactly.
estetika, composition.
Yeah, aesthetic, and like realism is different from maybe Japanese. Japanese, the design is so important, the composition, the application is the last element.
Yeah.
But in realism, it's all the application. So, but
Ya, bedanya. Jadi kalau Irazumi ya bedanya apa ya, kayak pakai baju aja gitu.
Kayak baju.
Dilihat dari semua sisi harus bagus. Itu sih yang
Berarti
susah banget.
dengan style kamu itu yang kamu lagi ingin belajar untuk large scale-nya ya. Karena sekarang ini kayak medium gitu lah ya, medium size.
Yang masih bisa ditaruh di mana-mana gitu.
Kayak ceplok-ceplok gitu ya kasarnya ya.
Kasarnya. Sekarang lagi belajar cara itu. Sih, jadi ya jangan stop belajar aja sih, terus aja belajar.
Ya kalau kata pepatah ya itu, jangan pernah berhenti belajar karena dunia itu nggak pernah berhenti kasih pelajaran buat kita. In English.
How about you?
how about me?
What's the conclusion for the audience? Like
The topic is apprenticeship. So
Yes.
Yeah, I think if you're a young up and coming tattooer or just an artist that wants to get into tattooing, you got to do it the correct way.
it's the right way, yeah.
Approach this, with the utmost respect. Do it the right way because it's people's health at risk. So you have to be respectful of all these diseases and all that stuff.
Oh ya, the sanitary.
Of course, yeah, the hygiene
The
first, and do it the right way. And only somebody who has experience can teach you the hygiene. So if you do it by yourself, it's only going to end in tears. Or somebody else's tears,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tattooing, It's you're dealing with blood, you're dealing with people's bodies. So you have to be respectful.
Oke, jadi seperti itu teman-teman topik kita hari ini. Semoga kalian mendapat manfaatnya, diterima yang baiknya, dibuang yang bacotnya gue tadi. Ya Mas Dede ya? Iya nih bacot gue gimana sih nih?
Ya insya Allah semuanya berguna lah buat semuanya.
Insya Allah berguna ya. Dan ini mau tau gak? Informasi ini gratis loh. Gratis buat kalian semua. Kak Nadia, Sean, Mas Dede, aku mah cuma tim Hore aja. Tapi ini gratis edukasi buat kalian semua buat ke jalan yang benar. Dan akhirnya mungkin kalau kalian masih baru belajar dan kalian menonton video ini lalu suatu saat kayak 5 tahun 10 tahun kemudian kalian sukses lalu kalian ingat sama pembicaraan kita ini yang pada akhirnya ini pelajaran gratis yang sangat bermanfaat buat kalian. Kita nggak perlu dipuji buat kayak oh iya gara-gara nonton podcastnya PK bla 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 enggak. Yang penting kalau gue nge-guest di tempat lu diterima aja. Gak bercanda. So that's all from us. Thank you. See you on the next vlog guys. Hey.